Hey everybody, welcome to Kimmel's Irish Pub. Time for another movie review. Tonight's movie, Destroyer. My father-in-law recommended this one, or I don't know if he recommended it or he just said he saw it. And it starred Nicole Kidman. I remember his comment was he didn't even recognize her in it. So she is a detective of some sort who goes undercover in some kind of gang. Something bad happens. And then years later, the leader of that gang resurfaces somehow, so she's got to reconnect, go back undercover to try and get him. That's the sense I get from what I've read. 6.4 on IMDb. In addition to Nicole Kidman, Sebastian Stan I recognize, Scott McNairy, Bradley Whitford. There are a couple of names. I mean, nothing, major there, but some actors that I recognize. But 2 hours. So I'll get into it a little bit and see what it's all about, give you a better idea of the synopsis, and then give you my final thoughts on it. So see if my father-in-law is right. Again, I don't even know if he said it was good or not, but this is what he watched. So we're watching it. Stick around. I'll be back. Hey everybody, I want to do a quick check-in here. We're watching Destroyer. We're at the 1 hour, 7 minute, and 30-second mark. Not too much to tell, maybe a little bit of detail. The synopsis that we read is pretty much right on. Nicole Kidman is our main character, and she is a detective in LA for the LAPD. And they flop back and forth from the present time to previous time, flashback, and where she was a younger detective and infiltrating this gang and undercover. And we're learning a little bit more about that as that moves on. But while she was undercover, one of the gang members evidently got away. Bank robbery. That's what they're doing. The gangs are in bank robbery. He gets away. Something happens though that really connects her to this. We don't know that yet. Something tragic, and that's what they said in the synopsis. But here we are, flash forward, and many years later, and he resurfaces. He sends her something to let her know that he is back in town, kind of thing. So she's now trying to put all the pieces together, going through her old contacts from when she was undercover to try and find Cyrus, I believe is his name. But really interesting is her look. Nicole Kidman, you can't really tell it's her in the present day. When they go back to the past, you can obviously see it's her. But here she's a little weathered, a little worn, and she really looks like Sigourney Weaver. I keep forgetting that it's actually her. For the most part, up until this point, it's a lot of investigative stuff. So she's, using a little bit of tactic or to try and draw information out of people, but not a lot of action yet. It has just gotten to a little bit of action. I believe the whole reason he resurfaced is because all the money that he stole is starting to go away. Somebody stealing it from him, whatever. Like his lawyer kind of thing, or he's just running out of money. I'm not 100% sure, but he needs more. So they're staging another bank robbery, and she's kind of figuring it all out, and there's going to be a little bit more action to come in this, and we'll see what happens. But we're only halfway through, so there's a lot more that can play out here as she goes down this path of retribution, revenge, or whatever. But so far so good. It's interesting to see Nicole Kidman in this role, and it's worth watching thus far. So I'll get back into it. I wanted to just tell you a little bit more of what I found out from the first hour of it, and it really did hold true to what we read in the synopsis, but it's bank robbery. I think that's the biggest thing, and Sigourney Weaver. Alright, I'll get back into it, and then probably check back in and let you know my final thoughts. Alright, I'll be back. Hey everybody, we're at the credits of Destroyer, and I have to say, I really did like it. My father-in-law was right. I enjoyed it a lot. Now, I don't think this is a spoiler alert, but I want to make you aware that the timeline, as I said, they were focusing on the present and the past when she was in there, but it's a little convoluted. You have to really pay attention a little bit to piece it all together. In fact, I think this is a movie, if you enjoyed it, I think you might even enjoy it more if you watch it a second time. Because they surprised me with some of the elements of the movie that I didn't expect. I mean, we knew she was going after this guy for revenge. and that was good enough. But then when you start piecing it all together and thinking it back, playing it back, it's like, it's pretty wild. I really liked it. I liked Nicole Kidman in there, even though she looked like Sigourney Weaver. Thought she did a great job. I liked the hair and makeup person who did all that for her. And I like what they really did with the plot. There's some subtle stories going on in the background that you don't pay a lot of attention to initially. And then they really serve a purpose in all of this. It's not just the piece about her trying to get this guy and her path to that. It's a little bit more not so much complex, but there's other little nuggets in this movie that work. A lot of times they throw in these little pieces. I'll just give you the example. She has a daughter in this movie, and they build on it ever so slowly. In the beginning they talk about her daughter, and then it builds and builds and builds until it's a decent piece of the movie. You know, it's maybe not 100% needed, but it adds a little bit more depth to the film, if you will. But in a lot of other movies they try and do that, and it's just distracting from what they're trying to do. It works. So there's a couple of little stories like that in this that really work out. Maybe the one that didn't work out was her and her partner. There's not a lot of development there, but I think they put it in there and said, you know, if we need to, we can do something with this. But they had enough with other characters or in the other characters in the movie that they played it out well, and again, it worked with everything they tried to do. The way they layered on, excuse me, like I said with her daughter, layering it on, and then you start to actually care. At first you don't, but then you do, and by the end it's worked well enough to add enough emotion to the film that you care about that piece, not only everything else that's going on. So that's what I got for you. It's hard. I don't want to spend any more because they're a really decent movie that you should watch. And I don't want to give away any spoilers, of course, because it's maybe not all that you think it's going to be, you know, when I watched it. And so check it out. Let me know what you think. I thought I had one more piece of it, but I lost it. Anyway, oh, I know. One thing, let me know if you figure out why the title of this movie is called Destroyer. Leave it in the comments below. That's what I wanted to say. So leave it in the comments. Love to hear from you. Check out this movie, absolutely. If you like crime movies, gang movies, even if you don't like Nicole Kidman, check it out. If you like Sigourney Weaver, check it out. She's not in this, but you might think she is. Anyway, if you do, drop me some comments, subscribe to my channel, and thanks for tuning in. Kimmel's Irish Pub.